This is the Phillies POSTCAST, your instant game reaction for the Philadelphia Phillies. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Welcome into the show. This is Locked On Phillies POSTCAST and Locked On Phillies YouTube channel. You guys are going to think I'm kidding here. You guys are going to think I'm just, this is too coincidental. Literally, my 5-year-old daughter had her first softball practice / game today. They have like 10 minutes of a practice, and then they play a little game. You know, it's nice. She had a couple of hits, 3 for 3, batted 1,000 to start off the career there for her. No pressure. Anyway, so they're fielding, they're practicing things, and they're 5 years old, right? Running around, chasing grounders, trying to catch the ball in the air and all that stuff. And one of the things the coach tells the girls right away, call it. Got to say, I got it. We don't want anyone to get hurt. It's a safety thing. We don't want anyone to get, you might think, oh, young for 5-year-olds. No, it's a safety thing. Don't want anyone to get hurt. You got to call it. You got to call it. You got to call it. 5-year-old girls softball. My daughter just put on a baseball mitt for the first time 3 days ago. Okay? She now knows that she has to call it if it's close. Johan Rojas apparently doesn't know to call a baseball his as a center fielder with a brand spanking new left fielder playing next to him in Edmundo Sosa. Literally, this was my night tonight. I went into that softball and watched that, and I went, oh, this is good, fundamentals. And then, boom, I go and watch the Phillies, and I'm like, what fundamentals? That's hilarious. Full-on rage mode. When I see big leaguers make mistakes, that we all know. You don't have to have a 5-year-old in softball to know that that's fundamentals, but I'm just saying it's a funny coincidence how that literally was the beginning of my night, and this is the end of my night. I'm yelling about a center fielder, supposed professional center fielder, who should have the mindset of, hey, new guys next to me, never played the spot before. I got to get to everything possible. I don't care that Edmundo Sosa had a fantastic home run saving catch just in the previous inning, and that was great. And even I put out there on social media, Edmundo Sosa, a natural outfielder. That's great. But Johan Rojas has phenomenal range in the outfield. If you could say anything about Johan Rojas, it's got phenomenal range in the outfield with that speed. You know who he reminded me of? Eagles fans. He reminded me of Nelson Aguilar. That's who he reminded me of. Remember that? I mean, there was a number of plays, but remember that one play with Nelson Aguilar in Dallas? It was in Dallas, and there was a deep ball thrown to him. I think it was from Carson Wentz, and he completely watched the ball just drop right, almost on his foot. He just tracked it, and then, oh, look at that. Johan Rojas, this ball almost hit him in his big toe, and he has the cojones to look at Edmundo Sosa like, sure, this is how we do it out. This is when we're in the outfield. This is what we got to do. No. He's got to be terrified of you coming over there because that was your ball to catch. He held up. Any center fielder at any level knows that's your ball. You are the general of the outfield. It is your call to make. And Johan Rojas is standing there looking at Edmundo Sosa when the ball's dropping right on his big toe. And then they get the shots of Johan Rojas in the dugout, and Johan Rojas is trying to talk to people more, blah, 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 blah. Like, the only thing I want to see from Johan Rojas, like, I was trying to read his lips to see what he was saying. I didn't catch a my bad. I didn't catch a that's on me. I didn't even catch, like, I even looked for lo siento. Okay, for those that don't know, that's Spanish for I'm sorry. I didn't even catch that. If I'm Rob Thompson, I'm benching him. I am benching him. And the fact that you saw him come out later in the game, well, not come out later in the game, but stay in the game, I thought was a huge L to Rob Thompson. That is absolute benchable material. What makes it benchable above everything is the fact that you know you got a guy next to you that's making his first career start in the outfield. And you don't get to every ball you can. Have a seat over here. That guy, he showed me in the first inning. Edmundo Sosa shows me he wants to play baseball. He wants to make catches out there. Johan Rojas, here's a nice piece of pine you could sit on there. Don't get any splinters. Thank you very much. Now, with that being said, yes, I am pissed at Johan Rojas. No question about that, obviously. However, let's admit something to ourselves here. Zack Wheeler did not have it tonight. Chris Sale did not have it tonight. Really, anybody in the field, anybody pitching tonight, they didn't have it tonight. This was not a good night for the Philadelphia Phillies, whether it was starting pitching, whether it was the bullpen, whether it was the outfield, or I should say, Johan Rojas. I'll just keep it to Johan Rojas. It was a bad one. It was a bad one tonight for the Phillies and very, very frustrating. And my overall takeaway from this game, outside of rage mode being activated, directed at Johan Rojas, other than that, my overall takeaway from this game is a very simple one. The Phillies were a brick wall for the LA Dodgers in that series in South Philly. Please don't be a red carpet for the Atlanta Braves. I said it going into the series on other platforms. I'm going to say it right now. Don't be that red carpet for the Braves. Don't lose this series to the Braves. And then the Braves go, oh, yeah, that's right. We know how to play baseball. And then they start going on an amazing tear. And then they're just right there with you every step of the way all season long. Don't start it out like that. Please don't start it out like that. And yet, this is how we're starting things off. Either way, welcome into the Postcast. This is Locked On Sports Philadelphia. Locked On Phillies Postcast, Locked On Phillies YouTube channel. Make sure you guys like and subscribe. You got Connor Thomas breaking it all down with your Locked On Phillies daily podcast. And you got me breaking it down for your Locked On Phillies Postcast after each and every game. With all that being said, let's get to this.
This is the Locked On Player of the Game.
Locked on player of the game. No question about it. You got to go to the man, Kyle Schwarber, who is absolutely on fire tonight. He was what you wanted to see in this Phillies lineup from top to bottom. And man, he was a sight for sore eyes. First up, comes up with a 2-run triple off the wall in center field, makes it a 3-3 lead after the debacle that was the second inning. He comes out in the third inning, gets 2 runners on. He brings them both home, gets a second pitch changeup out over the middle of the plate that he just tattoos to center field. He gets a triple out of it. It ricochets back towards the infield, that whole thing. So he's able to leg out a triple. You love to see. Went all of last year without a triple for Kyle Schwarber. He got one in his back pocket already. Not too shabby. So now it's a tie ball game 3-3. Then next up, Nick Castellanos. Nick Castellanos in that inning continued the fury by getting an RBI double, but it was started right there as far as the runs were concerned with Kyle Schwarber. Then Kyle Schwarber steps up in the 5th inning for the Phils. And you know what Kyle Schwarber does? He tattoos another baseball. I don't know what it is with this guy. I think this year in particular, he just really hates baseballs because usually he waits till June to really hate baseballs. But I guess he's going to start early because April, he really hates baseballs. Hit one 444 feet the other day. This one, that was small potatoes. This one today, 462 feet. He hammered to right field. Absolutely tattooed a fastball. 462 feet. That one gave the Phillies a 5-3 lead. That was those were 2 of Kyle Schwarber's 3 base knocks today. Also was able to work a walk. It was one heck of a run today for Kyle Schwarber, including when it was all said and done for the Schwarberian. Just want to make sure I have the numbers right here. Yeah, 3 for 3, 2 runs scored, 3 RBIs with a home run and a walk. He's got his average up to 324 with a 444 on base percentage. And very rarely do I play along with like the question of the day during the local broadcast. But the local broadcast question today with Tom McCarthy and Ben Davis was, hey, who's the only Philly to be on base in all 10 games so far? And I was like, it's got to be Kyle Schwarber. Or in every game so far this year. And I was like, that's got to be Kyle Schwarber. And it actually was Kyle Schwarber. Very rarely is like the first guess for me the right one. I usually got to do a little bit more digging. Not tonight. So he kept it going today. Absolutely the player of the game. As for, well, where it was lost.
Time to reveal where the game was won or lost. It's the turning point.
Look, I could continue to use the tired phrase, beat a dead horse here when it comes to Johan Rojas, but I believe I've aired my grievances. I think you guys get the point. But the turning point of the game, unfortunately, came in the 6th inning. Look, again, Rojas, horrible mistake. Zack Wheeler, though, didn't have it. How do I know he didn't have it? Velo dipped a little bit earlier than we're used to seeing from Zack Wheeler. This is a guy that's not crazy to think he's going to pitch 115 or throw 115 pitches in a game. Didn't make it out of the 6th inning, unfortunately, in this start. Went 5 1/3 for the Phils tonight. But in that 6th inning, he was at 81 pitches. He got Riley to strike out on a splitter. Then he gave up the single to left field to De La Cruz. Kelenic came up there. What a thorn in his side, in Zack Wheeler's side. Kelenic was tonight. He gets a single after being down in the count 0-2. He fights Zack Wheeler and makes it a 3-2 count, and he ends up getting a single to left field. I think it was on a sweeper, if I'm not mistaken. Then Murphy steps up there. He gets the RBI single to make it a 5-4 game. Then he walks Arcia, had him down 1-2, made it a full count, and he gave the free pass. He got the bases loaded, a one-out situation. They then go to the bullpen, and unfortunately, Matt Strahm couldn't slam the door. Gave up a sac fly RBI. I'm not pissed at Matt Strahm by any means, but couldn't get the 2 outs that were necessary in the inning. He gave up the sac fly, and then he got Ozzie Albies to strike out on a fastball. Got one really lucky call during the at-bat, a high pitch that was called a strike. That was even high for, what was the umpire's name tonight? Sherwater? Even by his standard tonight, it was high, but they still got the call, fortunately. And they were able to get out of that inning, but still the damage was done, and it was a tie ball game. From that point, it just felt like the Braves were going to have it, and then they did have it. From the turning point to the difference, Austin Riley steps up again, gets an RBI double. It was a fastball down and away. He went with it, got the double. It's a 6-5 Atlanta game, and then Arcia scores on a wild pitch. Tanner Banks, unfortunately, just threw it by JT Realmuto behind the dish for the 7th and final run of the ball game. So that right there, after the 6th inning, I would certainly look at that as the turning point. When we come back, we'll take a look at a couple of more of these Phillies players today, what we liked, what we didn't like. Alec Bohm. I don't get it, man. I don't get it. The negative of Alec Bohm and the positive of Nick Castellanos, because I think a code was cracked today during the broadcast, and we'll get into that because I alluded to it after Game 3 against the Dodgers, where Castellanos had the grand slam. There was something he was doing a little bit different in that. I couldn't quite put my finger on it, but I believe it was highlighted today during the broadcast. We'll talk about that when we return. This is Locked On Phillies Postcast on the Locked On Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel. Let's not forget about FanDuel. Hope you guys are having a great time with FanDuel. NBA playoffs just around the corner. FanDuel is giving new customers an incredible way to get in on all the action right now. When you join FanDuel and place your first $5 bet, you'll get $250 in bonus bets if you win your first bet. That's it. You just got to win your first $5 bet. I love FanDuel, how it makes betting so unbelievably easy. Whether it's picking my favorite team or diving into player props, maybe it's parlays, whatever the case might be. From three-pointers to steals to assists, FanDuel has you covered when it comes to the NBA playoffs, which, again, are just around the corner. FanDuel has so many ways to bet on your favorite props. Plus, after the game tips off, you can even combine live prop bets into same-game parlays for a chance to win big. So don't miss out. Head to FanDuel.com. That's FanDuel.com and claim your $250 in bonus bets today with FanDuel. Go to FanDuel.com. Just Ingredients. When it comes to fueling your body, quality matters. That's why Just Ingredients is changing the game with clean, high-quality products designed to support better health and peak performance. Just Ingredients offers an NSF-certified line of protein powder, electrolytes, as well as pre-workout and creatine, all rigorously tested to ensure they're free from substances banned by major athletic organizations. Rest assured. Just Ingredients has also partnered with two-time MVP Bryce Harper. You know him, you love him in here in Philadelphia, who trusts their NSF-certified sports line to fuel his training and recovery. Share your personal, you talk about great times that you can have with how incredible Just Ingredients is. Clean, transparent ingredients. Love that Just Ingredients prioritizes wholesome, nourishing ingredients without the artificial junk. They're absolutely fantastic. So take advantage of all they have to offer. Visit justingredients.us. Use promo code LOCKEDONMLB. That's promo code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off. And for more wellness tips, follow at just.ingredients on Instagram. And make sure you take advantage of everything they have at justingredients.com. Real quick, before we go any further, just want to look at the pitching box score tonight. Zack Wheeler, as I mentioned, 5 1/3, 5 runs he was charged for on 8 hits, 7 strikeouts, 3 walks issued. Another way, you kind of know that Zack Wheeler doesn't have his best stuff. 104 pitches in just 5 1/3. You're expecting him to see the 7th inning if he's getting to 104 pitches. Matt Strahm gave up the sac fly RBI. That was charged to Zack Wheeler. He got the strikeout. Two-thirds of an innings. 2/3 of an inning was pitched. Orion Kerkering, unfortunately, struggled. 2 walks in his frame. Tanner Banks, 2 hits and a walk and a run in his frame as well. As far as what was the good and the bad, let's start with the bad here with Alec Bohm. Now, I'm not one, and I know this has become a conversation ever since last year in the playoffs, and I have not been for it. What do you expect? Do you expect Alec Bohm to strike out or fly out and then do a cartwheel with joy? No, he's going to be pissed off, and I want him to be pissed off. But people have put him in this category of like a little pouty baby. All right? I'm not putting him there yet. And quite frankly, I don't care if he pouts. I don't care if he's angry. I want him to be upset he did not have success. So with that being said, Alec Bohm gets a single in his first at-bat. He actually took the first 2 pitches of that at-bat, and I was like, all right, way to be. I like this. Gets a single to right field on a changeup. Then he steps up later in the game in the 3rd inning. First pitch swinging. Tries to jump on I think it was actually a slider. Misses it. Flies out to left field. Then he steps up to the plate again later in the game in the 7th inning. Now, this is, again, in the midst of a cold spell here for your Phillies bats. Alec Bohm steps up there, chases a 1-2 changeup away, out of the strike zone, grounds out back to the pitcher. I think it was Dylan Lee. Or no, it was Henderson at that time. It was Dylan Lee pitching at that time. There were 2 separate occasions today where he either forced an out or swung at ball 4 out of the zone. And once the Braves knew it, they had him offering at it at least twice in that game. Where's the patience? If you're going to I defend it when they go up there and they got a plan. They're going to swing at the first pitch. If you miss, well, that's on you. You can't miss if you're going to guess at those pitches. He missed on a slider in the 1st inning, or excuse me, in the 3rd inning. Then he comes up in the 5th inning. He gets a 2-2 slider that was called a ball. It was a strike. He got lucky on that. So he gets a little redemption. And then that's when he chased ball 4 on a fastball away. Just flung the bat head, the barrel of the bat out there and missed like he was swinging at flies. Right after that's when Kyle Schwarber stepped up there and took care of business with his home run. But it's just a lost looking Alec Bohm on a lot of those pitches, unfortunately. That's the bad. The good is Nick Castellanos. And I mentioned to you guys on that grand slam that he had against the Dodgers in Game 3 that in his first at-bat of the game, he looked like he was keeping his hands in a little bit more. And then it was actually Ben Davis that mentioned it. I just didn't even think about it from last year. He's swinging with both hands. We're so used to that. And once Ben mentioned it, I went, oh, that's right. Last year, it's all that one big swinging with one hand through the zone and that big photo finish, that photo op finish that he had. Well, he's swinging with both hands now, and he's keeping both hands on the bat, which is something you rarely ever saw him do last year. So you saw him do it. One time he flew out against the Dodgers. I think it was his first at-bat against the Dodgers. Then the second time he came up, that's when he hit the grand slam to left field. But again, it was both hands through the zone. I don't know if that's helping him keep his hands in or what, but it was. It seems to be working for him. Seems to be working for him rather well, especially again today. He comes up and gets you a couple of base knocks as well, including the 3 hits today, 2 RBIs. You like to see that for Nick Castellanos. As far as the last order of business for the game,
this is what you'll be talking about.
Zero doubt in my mind it's going to be Johan Rojas. Zero doubt in my mind. Now, I've mentioned that. I've examined it. We talked about it. However, I will say Zack Wheeler did not have his best stuff tonight. And I think the other thing that we could take away from this game is that I don't want to be the team that was the screeching halt for the Dodgers and then the team that was the Kickstarter for the Atlanta Braves. I don't want to put the quarter in the Atlanta Braves machine. We saw how good they still were last year, despite guys just dropping like flies throughout the season. And I know that the Braves, They were itching to get into this series with the Phillies because they just got their tails kicked by the Padres. They got their tails kicked by the Dodgers. They split. The third game was rained out against the Marlins. They won 10-0, then lost 4-0. They were itching to get into this series with the Phillies. And here they are, up in the series, 1-0. Let's take your comments here on Locked On Phillies postcast. See how wonderful people are doing on this fine night. Morgan Landy, Wheeler wasn't sharp, unfortunately. Sosa robbery of a home run of the first inning was unreal for a first-time starter. Right? Let's regroup and win the next 2 now. I like it. Let's do that. Jeremy, what's going on? Looks like we just woke up. The sleeping Braves, please, no. Star Wars 99, it was Rob. Oh, it was on Rob. Rob Thompson? Christopher Michael, bullpen sucks. Marsh sucks. Stott is sucking. That's interesting. Thank you. Evelyn, hello, Evelyn. I'm at work watching intermediately and missed the Rojas fiasco. That Sosa catch was amazing. Wheeler not on his usual game. Back at it tomorrow. Go Fightins. There you go. That's the spirit. Elephant in the room. Hey, bud. How was Rojas doing today? Oh, he was terrible. He was terrible. And you know what really hurt? Let me tell you what hurts the most. When was it? Sosa robs. Okay. Second inning. Phillies are at the plate. Chris Sale is on cruise control against Sosa and Stott. And then Rojas has an 8-pitch at bat. He ended up grounding out to short, but he had an 8-pitch at bat after being out down 0-2. I'm like, hey, nice at bat there, fella. And then he just murdered all goodwill with his boneheaded play on that Austin Riley double to center field. Not on Rob. Center fielder is the lead dog there. Absolutely, Jeremy. I agree. Bam Man 100. So we have literally one good high-level reliever, Alvarado, right? I still like Strom. Do we need to see more Rojas? Well, who do you want? Do you want more Marsh? Justin Crawford? Bring him up already? Schwarber did just miss the cycle. He was a double short of the cycle tonight, unfortunately. Bullpen might be the worst in baseball. Not great. Crazy. I'm trading Rojas for young Lass Farzetta. She's affectionately known on other platforms as Lil Toots. Like other platforms I do shows on, like my show, whatever. Lil Toots is the affectionate name. Wheeler, Greg Q. Wheeler wasn't good, but he wasn't bad. Yeah, I mean, he wasn't terrible. Was he the Zack Wheeler that we know? No, he wasn't. Justin Crawford, let's go. Let's just do it. Jeremy. John Malkovich. Pay the man his money. Sorry, that was terrible. John Malkovich and Rounders. Me scusi. Schwarber should be player of the game. There we go. Star Wars 99. Thank you. Timothy B. Farzetta Rojas brain fart, just inexcusable. The ball was his to catch, and he looked complete. See, it's not like I was waiting for it to drop between them. Like right when we're watching that, we're not watching the ball. We can't see the ball. We only see the two fielders. When we're watching the play, we're like, oh man, they're looking at each other. Watch it drop right in between him. It dropped right on his foot. I really had the thought of the Aguilar. We was catching him, unlike Aguilar. That's what I had in my mind when that happened. John Messina, what's going on? That was Rojas' ball inexcusable. Absolutely. Absolutely. Elephant in the room. Yeah, I'll take more Marsh. That guy, the guy that finishes with an above average OPS every year and plays good defense in center field. When Crawford is ready, bring him up. Okay. All right. Look, I'm calling for Johan Rojas to have been benched after that. There's no way he should have seen the field again. Come sit right here. You got new guy. Like, you know what actually crossed my mind? I was like, is he hazing the new guy? Like, what's going on here? Is he hazing Edmundo Sosa? Welcome to the outfield, dude. Like, obviously not. But when I am activating rage mode, as I did there, I'm not thinking clearly. Anyway. All right. The Phillies will look to bounce back tomorrow. Another 7:15 start time against these Atlanta Braves. This time around, you got Taijuan Walker looking to repeat at least his 6 scoreless innings that he tossed against his old team, two toss against his old team in the Atlanta Braves like he did in his first start of the season. Hopefully, Taijuan Walker is going to have a magical season. 2 starts in a row where he's dominant. Let's hope. And then for tomorrow, also they're going up against the opener tomorrow. I had it written down. It's Grant, right? Grant Holmes? Grant Holmes, yeah. They're going against Grant Holmes tomorrow. Again, 7:15 start time, so I'll be joining you right here on Locked On Phillies YouTube channel. Make sure you guys like and subscribe. Connor Thomas has you covered when it comes to your Locked On Phillies daily podcast. I have you covered when it comes to your Locked On Phillies postcast. Phillies lose at 7-5 tonight, unfortunately. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. You guys are great as per usual. Make sure you like and subscribe to Locked On Phillies YouTube channel. See you guys tomorrow. Bye.